People that didn't know the Joe Robinson comedian the first go-around, Joe, you were known for, I mean, not being mean, but just saying the things that maybe others thought.
Well, I always felt appreciated.
You were loved for that.
Yeah, you're right. I think it had a lot to do with me saying what other people wanted to hear said.
But you had earned some sort of capital for doing that by being funny and you having a radio show.
Right, you can't do
stuff.
that and be horrible. You're right.
Well, also, you really can't do that when you're 1 week back into comedy. But apparently you can. So.
Well, I have a history, right?
I guess, right.
I hope this doesn't burn a bridge. I hope it doesn't. The MC goes up there, and, listen, that is a tough job. You know that it is, okay? Right. It's a tough job because the room is small. It probably seats, between 30 and 40 people. And if you're the MC, you're almost guaranteed to not crush, right? You're going up ice cold. Obviously, there's no laughs that have occurred whatsoever.
Right.
You're going up to an ice cold room. So the guy, his name is Kyle Martin. And honestly, it's hard for me to objectively know whether or not this guy's funny because he always goes up to nothing. He said some things I'm like, wow, that's really clever, but I'm having difficulty finding out whether or not he's funny because he's never has a chance.
I've seen him do multiple sets where he had a real spot, and he's definitely a funny guy.
So you know the guy, right?
Yeah, he's very funny.
Now, first of all, he's a dead ringer for Davy Jones from the God Rest His Soul from the Monkees.
Yeah.
Whereas being 44 and everyone else there, including this guy, being 28, they don't know who the hell Davy Jones is, right? So I have to go to the only person who knows this, and it's the person I least want to speak to. And I go in there and say, doesn't he look like Davy Jones? Which he does. Anyway, well then.
So wait a minute. You needed that reassurance so bad that you talked to the last person you'd want to talk to in there.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay. It says a lot.
I just wanted somebody to say, somebody affirm me. He looks like Davy Jones.
You needed affirmation.
I did. Are you the same way or not at all?
I mean, I probably would want affirmation. You're right. I don't think that's a good quality, though, to feel like, well, I can't just accept that that's right. I have to talk to some person I abhor, but whatever.
It might be a character flaw, but I definitely needed to be affirmed in some way. Right. So anyway, the reason I mention it is because he's off stage. And on stage, the next comic is this woman. Her name is Sarah Armour. Do you know her?
Yeah, that's the Peter King hookup.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, don't piss her off.
Now, listen.
Yeah. I'm going to get us Peter King, the leading NFL writer in the world.
No. Listen, honestly, I didn't listen to her set. It's not, I mean, I'm sure she's funny. It's not really a matter about that, of that.
Right.
The point is, and she also said some really funny things because she said she told a joke about that had the word queef in it. And the person that runs the room came up to her and goes, listen, that joke's not appropriate and it's not funny and blah, blah, blah. And of course, just like I would, she took umbrage to this. Like if she tried to control my content, I'd be like, no, you cannot have me here, but I'm not going to have you tell me what's funny, right? Anyway,
I'm so glad you're back, Joe.
She's on stage. And of course, I see her and she is a dead ringer. A dead ringer for, and the only way I could describe him is, do you ever see the movie What About Bob?
I've never seen the movie, no.
Okay. If you saw it, there was a kid in there, Richard Dreyfuss's son, with Ziggy. He was named after Sigmund Freud. And this kid looks just like this girl. I mean, exactly like her, right? So I have to tell someone. Because
of course
she
you do.
Really looks just like this guy.
A little boy, right?
Right. Well, by the way, little boys are adorable. I'm not acting like she's an ugly woman.
Not at all.
Have their features, their eyes and nose and mouth are exactly the same. Literally, if this guy put her curly hair on, they would look exactly the same. He's a pretty kid. It's not a matter of her not being attractive. She looks just like this guy.
It's a funny resemblance. It's not insulting.
It is, right? So I go over to the only person that I can talk to, and that's the MC. Kyle Martin, right? And I go, hey, have you ever seen the movie What About Bob? He goes, yeah. I go, you know Richard Dreyfuss's character's son? He goes, oh, yeah, the kid was also in Hook. I go, yeah, that girl looks just like him. Now, by the way, she looks just like him. So he immediately gives me a vibe like, this is not okay. Like, it's not okay to do this, right? Well, instead of me saying, let me be cool, this is not right. Maybe it's not good to say, her face is the same as the little boy's. No, I have to prove it. Boom, I get on my phone, IMDb, I find this kid. By the way, when you see the picture of the kid, he looks even more like her than I thought. I mean, at the neck, the chin, literally, I'm looking at his face right now. Robbie, I need you to IMDb this guy, Charlie, Korsmo. I'm sure you can find a picture of this girl somewhere on the internet.
Well,
and
I'm Facebook
put them
friends with
side by side. They look right. They look exactly the same. So now I'm showing this guy a picture of him on my phone, and he's literally like, this is not, like, he's letting me know it's not okay, but I want him to affirm me, just like earlier with Davy Jones, and I'm not getting the affirmation. Anyway, the point is, if that wasn't okay, I apologize to Kyle Martin, and I apologize to Sarah Armour, but whatever, I don't feel like it's insulting, but if it is, then I apologize.
So in one set at Topaz on a Thursday night, you managed to piss off, and now because of this show, Kyle Martin,
right?
Sarah Armour,
right?
And probably this kid from What About Bob, if he ever listens to the show.
He found out he would be irate, obviously.
And Peter King, because now he would never come on our damn show.
Oh, I hope that's not the case. But honestly, I could tell based on talking to her, based on her sense of humor, this isn't going to bother her.
No, she's super cool. She's very cool.
No, the only person that is going to be bothered probably by this conversation is, of course, the person that runs the room. And I'm telling you right now, you know me. I'm going to walk in, and if she heard this and says something, I'm just going to leave. I'm not going to confront. I'm not going to sit in that uncomfortable situation.
Robbie will make it so she definitely hears it. I'm sure that he will find a way.
Robbie, don't do that, or I won't be able to. Robbie, remember, I know you like to torch these bridges and then scream, let the bridges I burn light my way. But the truth is that, this room, I need to continue to work because it's a way for me to try out new material on a weekly basis. And then if you find a way to make sure that this is heard by her, then I can't do that. So I'm telling you that right now.
There's a lot of people that know you from your previous stint that are probably eager to hear you bitch about comedy-related things. So I actually want this. I want people to hear it. I don't want to seek someone out and try to piss them off, but I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. Hearing you get angry about these things is awesome. It's classic. It's classic Joe Robinson.
Yeah, by the way, Joe used to do this exact same thing in his blog.